the spirits will not they wouldn't stop coming to me. I can be on the phone with someone and then I hang up and then their loved ones would come to me. I passed by the shop that I saw in my dream. I looked at the lady, she said, "Can I help you?" And I just broke down crying. I said, "I don't know why I'm here, but I am at the end. Like, I can't handle whatever else is happening to me." And she told me that there was a lady in the back and she'll talk to me. And that was my first shaman teacher. And as soon as she walked out, she said, "God is directly behind you."
Welcome to the Awaken Magazine podcast, where we feature inspiring leaders who are helping our world awaken to love. I'm your host, David Trotter, and today I want to share with you a fascinating conversation with Mrs. Drew. She's a psychic medium and a spiritual healer who helps her clients break generational curses. Now, in this conversation, Mrs. Drew talks to us about how she grew up in a toxic Christian environment. And yet at the same time, she had this intuitive spiritual connection from a very young age. And yet it wasn't until she was pregnant with her first child that she had this awakening to spirituality, mindfulness, consciousness. And she ended up opening up her very first spiritual practice, an actual brick and mortar location where she served clients. And she talks to us about how she's been doing that over the last 14 years, specifically how she is gifted in the area of automatic writing as she is conducting her mediumship readings. And in fact, at the end of our conversation, I asked her, "Oh, would you mind giving me a reading right now?" And she does. It is a fascinating experience, and I hope you'll stick around to see who comes through for me in that reading experience. Hey, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Awaken Magazine podcast. Subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, all of them. Click subscribe, leave a rating or a review. That's an easy way for you to help us spread the word about these incredibly inspiring interviews that we release each and every week. All right, let's dive into my conversation with Mrs. Drew. Drew, it is great to see you and great to be with you. Thank you so much for taking time to hang with us today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I always love to start off with just hearing a little bit about your story, about your awakening, that journey to consciousness, mindfulness, spirituality. I know that you grew up in a family that there was some sort of faith as part of your upbringing. Can you tell us a little bit about that and then walk us through kind of the unfolding of spirituality in your life?
Well, I did grow up in a Christian background, and it wasn't fully healthy. I'm gonna say that. It was very toxic, but the basis was Christianity. And even as a little girl, I was in love with God. And I would say that that was my first beginning. It woke me up to God and the Bible with the stories, and it I loved reading. So it was really the beginning of my awakening experience, which I'm very grateful for. I am not Christian as of today, but I'm very grateful for the beginning.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Tell me about how you began to become more aware of your, for lack of a better word, intuitive gifts. How did that start to come online for you?
Well, it was always there. It actually drove a little wedge between my mom and I because she would wonder how I knew things at such a young age. Yeah, it was
Really? Give me an
it was
example.
it was so my grandfather had passed. I described him like 5 or 6, and my dad will tell this story. I mean, I didn't know him, and it was little things. How does she know this? I had a playmate of mine in church. He passed, and I could feel exactly how he passed, and my mom didn't tell me, but she knew from the adults, and it would give her, a very unease feeling. So, that whole childhood, I grew up feeling like something was wrong with me, She would
Mm.
kinda like, she's not supposed to know these things. What's wrong with her? So I grew up feeling very isolated and different.
Mhm. At what point did you start to embrace these gifts and see life kind of from a different lens?
Well, it was as far as coming out as a business, it took my daughter, and I was 30 years old when I had her. It took her, but before that, I was definitely running from it because I didn't understand. It wasn't something that was, popular from where I was coming from. I did grow up with prophets in the church, so the prophets were no different than what I was doing, but, outside of the church, it wasn't technically supposed to be done, so I didn't come out until I got pregnant with my daughter. I saw an experience with her, while I was pregnant, and I told myself, "How am I gonna tell her it's okay to be herself if I'm hiding?" So, that was that was my coming out and doing it out in the open moment, but I was always like this behind closed doors, 100%.
So before the age of 30, what were some of those things that obviously you're experiencing things intuitively, but were you developing those gifts in some way through like books or courses or videos or classes?
So, I was always into magic, magic movies, um, meditation. I was heavy on prayer, talking to God any way that I could talk to God. So, I do believe unconsciously I was developing those gifts because I didn't have anywhere else to go. I
Mhm.
kinda was in my bubble. I still felt different to the point where even in, my previous marriage, it was a issue because I knew things that I wasn't supposed to know, even though I wasn't openly practicing it. It was just a part of my spirit.
Wow. And how did you were you at 30 still a part of, the Christian church, or had you kinda set that aside?
No,
No.
I set that aside, um, probably around, I would say 24, 25. I really started to distance myself, because it didn't feel like me.
Mhm.
And I was still going through the process of being safe with myself and being okay with me. It took me some time. One of the books that kinda woke me up, I was in 11th grade, and I picked up a book called Restless Spirits by Edna Vincent Millay, and that was my changing point mentally and spiritually, because it was so me in a book. She was a poet, and that's how I first started. I would write poetry. That I'm an automatic writer, so that's how I connect. I would write. I would just sit and write. We have the same month of birth. She has a guy's name, so that was her insecurity, and I did too. I'm Drew. So we had so much similarity. And coming from the environment that I was in, and I picked up this book, it changed my perspective on life. It gave me the ability to be free. So
Mm.
I would say my freedom mentally, emotionally, spiritually kinda started with that. And I love the title Restless Spirits. I was always into the spirits, so that just made it, even more stronger for me. And I would say after that, I started to distance myself to the belief of Christianity because I believe that it had to be more to life than this. And I took a world, um, religious class, and I
Mhm.
started to learn about Buddhism and Hinduism, and
Mhm.
it opened me up again to spirituality, to different cultures, to different beliefs, and, coming from a deep Christian background, we're told certain people are gonna go to hell, or a certain place if you don't believe, and I had a moment of, how can all these good people
Mhm.
go to go to hell if they don't believe in this one specific thing, and the world is so big. So I
Mhm.
kinda guided myself internally through getting out of religion.
Mhm. So at age of 30, your daughter comes into this world, and you said you kind of went public. What did that look like?
Whew. Healing is not pretty, so I do have to say that because people make it look like it's just this beautiful moment. Um, I couldn't run anymore. I said those words while I was pregnant, and after I had her, I couldn't run anymore. And it's such a crazy story. I had a dream, and I saw this shop, and then one day I got lost, and after I had my daughter, I was going through so many experiences spiritually. The spirits will not they wouldn't stop coming to me. I can be on the phone with someone and then I hang up and then their loved ones would come to me. And I wasn't sleeping. I just couldn't turn it off or ignore it anymore. And anyways, I got lost one day and as I'm driving, I passed by the shop that I saw in my dream. I walked in and it was a spiritual shop, it was in Lake Elsinore. I walked in and I looked at the lady, she said, "Can I help you?" And I just broke down crying. I said, "I don't know why I'm here, but I am at the end. Like, I can't handle whatever else is happening to me." And she told me that there was a lady in the back and she'll talk to me. And that was my first shaman teacher, and as soon as she walked out, she said, "God is directly behind you. Some people have to do things to get to God, but you don't." And it was life-changing from that. Within probably about 90 days, I ended up opening up my own spiritual space. I had no idea what I was gonna do or how I was gonna do it. I just knew I couldn't hide anymore.
My goodness.
It was
And so
intense.
when you are having these experiences, how did you navigate the, like, friends and family component of that?
Oh. Yeah, that was very tough. So, I learned early on in my outcoming to not just say, "Your grandfather is here," your mom or I learned very early on, don't do that because they would get scared and they would be like, "How does she know this?" But some I had to have a discernment and ask God when to say it and when not to say it. So I trained myself to only do it at work. You know, how you see the Long Island medium kind of thing,
Mhm.
they walk around and they just tell you that is not healthy, and I feel like it's invading somebody's personal space.
Totally, totally.
So, I don't do things like that. I learned very early to not do things like that because it wasn't a healthy thing. So,
Mhm.
it took time to navigate. When I do my sessions, I write, which that's where the poetry and all of the stuff started for me writing. I write down what I hear, and that's my connection. And in the beginning of me doing my mediumship readings, I would get messages for my clients, and then they would say, "Oh, tell me more about myself." So in the process of my mediumship, they wanted the psychic readings.
Uh-huh.
And I still had a stigma with the word psychic. I didn't like the word psychic. I didn't wanna go by the word psychic, and it became a thing. So just that quick, I was already in my purpose.
So you open up this space. How did you advertise? How did you get the word out? Lake
Oh my
Elsinore
god.
is here in California for people who don't know, and you're currently in more Georgia area. So uh, how did you get the word out?
So, when I that day that I met with my first shaman teacher, and she told me that I was supposed to do what she's doing, and I'm like, "How?" And she had cards, right? And I said, "Well, do I need those?" She said, "No, you're stronger than me. You don't need these." So she told me it was
Really?
gonna be 3 women to help me open up my shop, and it definitely was. I started advertising for readings. I had, one lady, which I'm still close to this day. She came in, for the first time. She was my first in-person reading. She brung 3 other women with her. They were so impressed. They helped me open the space, they painted it, they furnished it, they made flyers, and they walked around Lake Elsinore, Temecula, and they advertised me.
Wow.
It was when I say it was that quick, it was that quick.
Wow.
And it never stopped from there, so everything that I did from there was word of mouth.
My goodness. Did you call your business I know you call your business now Temple of Divine Deities. Did you call that space that then, or was it a different name?
No, at that time, I was clear purple. That was, like, the name for me. I'm a amethyst girl, it's my birthstone color, so I went with the clear purple at the time.
Yeah.
Divine deities came a little bit later.
What does Temple of Divine Deities mean to you? Why did you choose that name?
So, in the again, in the process of my awakening, I went through a lot of learning different deities, different cultures, different beliefs, spiritualities, and some didn't fit me. Some felt uncomfortable. And one day I was driving. I make drives intentional. I'm an intentional driver. And spirit told me that even though you don't feel comfortable with some of these beliefs or systems, every deity has a purpose. Every deity is divine. And from that moment on, I said, okay, this is the name for me, Temple of Divine Deities. Even though I might not be okay with everything, but every deity has a purpose. Every god has a purpose.
Did you sense that you weren't okay with it because of the Christian belief system that you had previously held or something else?
It was something else. So, coming into now I'm still a baby in the spiritual realm, and I noticed that some of the things and people that started to gravitate to me, they were in pain. And pain causes anger, and pain magic. People get angry and they wanna hurt people, and so I noticed that some systems didn't fit me because I was love and light. I believe in healing. I believe in not pain magic, but, really manifesting from the depths of your healing versus anger, or, um one of my next books, The Soul Has No Color, I'm very diverse, and I don't like the lines that draws us against each other as humans. In some, religious backgrounds or spirituality, there's a lot of division, and I
Mhm.
still say that's out of anger.
Mm, mhm. So
So it didn't fit me.
how many years have you been serving people then since that time when you opened your shop in Lake Elsinore?
It is going on 15 years.
15 years. Yeah, long
15
time,
years.
long time. And you primarily focus, what I'm hearing, is on mediumship as the doorway or entry point in working with clients. Is that true?
Yes. So the mediumship readings they're not only for the clients, it's so healing for me. It is the most profound thing I think I could ever do for my journey.
Mhm.
My clients, they get this sense of peace, and it gives me a sense of peace to know I'm not crazy. It gives me that peace to give somebody else healing and to be able to tell them things, and I'm a total stranger. One of the things that I do in my sessions, I do not allow people to talk to me first, and I don't want them to ask me any questions. I believe if I connect with you, just let me connect with you. I should not have to ask you anything.
Wow.
So it is my mediumship readings are the best for me. The psychic reading, I still people love them, but it seems sometimes they get, addictive, you know? They "Well, what up? Well, what okay, you said this, it happened, now what's next? Now what's next? Now what's next?" So, sometimes it becomes an addiction with the psychic
Mhm.
reading. The
Mhm.
mediumship, they touch my heart a lot more.
Mhm. So someone comes to you for mediumship reading. Do you do in-person work still, or is it all online?
Yes, I do in person. I do
And
in
on
person.
and online?
Yes, I do house visits if they're close. I have clients all over the world. I have flew in visit them. I had someone come down from Japan. I have clients everywhere. So, yeah.
Wow. So someone begins a session, whether in person or online, and they say, "I want a mediumship reading." Walk me through what happens and how do you use automatic writing in the process?
So, the first thing that I would do starting a session, I will just get the person's name that we are calling forth. I literally get a pen and paper, cut my music on. I usually burn like a white candle just to signify purity.
So you're actually
And
asking for the name of the loved one that they want to connect with.
yes,
Okay.
I get the direct name. Now, the thing about opening that door is anyone could walk in, but I try to focus on who I'm talking to directly.
Mhm.
So I do ask the name, I write the name down, and then I just start to listen and hear what that spirit is saying. I do tell my clients that if that spirit was bad in any way, my guides will not let me cross there. If they were murderers or something negative, my guides will not. They will not let me cross that line.
Mm.
So usually
Mhm.
they know beforehand if this person was bad, they're not gonna book the session.
Mhm. So once you have the name, what's the next step?
I just listen and I write. And when I'm listening and I'm writing, I have no idea what it means to that person because it's me, it's myself. So I don't know how it's connecting until I stop writing and then I tell the person, um, this do you know this? I see this. I basically walk through what the person is telling me, that spirit is telling me.
Yeah.
And immediately it's emotional.
Yeah.
So I do like to go for confirmation when I'm talking to the spirit, and they usually give you something that knows it's them directly.
Mhm. Now, a lot of mediums, it seems like, more connect with the individual, and then they just allow anybody to come in, and sometimes there's the confirmation by the name, like, they give the
Mhm.
medium. So, this is an interesting process for you. Did you choose to, like I don't know, use a different tactic, or this is just what just came to you?
So I normally it's for me, it's like it's not a book. It's something is just like this is how it goes. I'm just me, right? So for me, whenever I'm opening those doors, anybody can come in. That's why I say the TV mediumship, those certain things are not is, you know, healthy. If you're a medium, it's spirits all around us.
Mhm.
So I get the name to get the direct energy of that person. Some people just want to talk to their father or their mother. They don't want to hear from someone else.
Mhm.
But then I'll still, if someone else comes through, I'll still allow it to come through.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's 3 or
Interesting.
4 people. I just had one Monday, it's 3 or 4 people that comes through, but I start off with a direct energy.
Yeah. And I mean, this is a tough question to ask, but like, are there times where the client just does like, there's no connection, like nothing happens?
So, I gotta be 100%. So one of my beginning mediumship readings, it was a lady, and she came into the space, and she wanted to connect with her father. And I started my process, wrote his name down, and I tried to connect, right? And he was sitting with his back towards me, and he would not talk to me because I was a Black woman.
Oh,
And when I looked up at her and I said, "He's not gonna talk to me because of my race." And she immediately started crying. She said, "I did not believe he was still like that."
oh,
But it was a learning lesson for me, right? Because when people cross over, if they haven't they can still learn, they can still heal. Some people they cross over still stubborn in those same ways.
mhm.
And that was my first moment. I felt offended. I was like, "Okay, this is," and she was crying so bad. And I said, "You do not have to pay me. It's fine." She was like, "I just can't believe this." But
Ugh,
it was yeah, I've had experience where, spirits don't wanna talk to me, because it could be my race. I've had spirits still into religion, so they didn't wanna cross and talk to me, and then I'm still getting the messages from them, so the person knows it's them.
mhm,
The person knows it's them because it's their personality. So, there's been times where they didn't wanna talk to me, but I'm not I there's never been a time where I haven't connected with a spirit in a session.
mhm. Is the automatic writing words that I could read on the page myself, or is it more just scribbling, or
It's a
how does that?
combination of both for me
Mhm,
because I have to catch it quick, 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 and
mm,
even when I'm in a session and I'm talking and the person is talking, that person is still talking to me.
mhm,
So I still have to write down what I'm hearing and catch it quick. So sometimes you can't read it, sometimes you can read it. It's a little bit of both for me.
mhm. Awkward question, but, eh, I mean, can you, like, do this right now with me? Or is that, like, feel too out of the box because you gotta get in a certain zone, or how does that work for you?
I have to get in a certain zone. I mean, if you wanna try it, I will. I would get a piece of paper and do it, but normally I have to get in a certain zone and be in a certain space to do it, but
What is that zone? What does that require of you to get in that space?
Usually it's music. It's my music. I have this music that I play that instantly snap.
Mhm.
And I do have the bells that I use to cleanse over my head. I take my deep breaths and I just go in.
Yeah. Would you be up for trying?
I would. I would for you.
I mean, we can cut this if it doesn't, if this doesn't work out well. We can
I'm 100% open. So I do have to get the pen and paper.
do it.
So hold on one second.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I cut the music on?
Oh, no, go for it. Whatever you need to do.
So do you want to give me a name or you feel like you just want it to be open?
I can give you a name. Yes.
Okay. And what's the name?
Uh, I would say Aubrey, Aubrey, Wolf, Lowolfe.
Okay. So I'm gonna cut my music on and I'm gonna go in. So don't mind the faces that I make, okay? Because some things that I hear, I make faces. So just know it's not you, it's me. So hold on. Okay, you ready for this, David? I'm gonna start talking. I'm just gonna remove my nervousness and start talking. Okay. So the first thing I felt was a poetic spirit. I got listen to the sounds. They said you never listened to them. Do you know what that means?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Listen to Aubrey. Listen to him.
Yes. Did you have an issue with listening to her or
It was a man, actually, it's my grandfather. Uh,
ah,
yeah.
okay. So did you have an issue listening?
I don't know. I mean, I was a young kid. He passed away when I was probably 25, but I didn't spend much time with him after, 13 or 14, so young kid.
Okay. So that could be a little rebellious in the beginning.
Mhm.
Hold on, hold on. Okay, the next thing that I heard was still hanging around the house. So do you have like a was there like a childhood home that that person was in that's still going?
They lived uh, for a long time in a home in Alabama. Mhm.
Okay, because I'm hearing the energy is still around the house,
Hmm,
and it feels like it was peaceful.
hmm.
Who um, the new girlfriend, a girl or someone you were around, who's the new person?
I do have a new partner from, like, the last 3 years.
Okay. So this person is, um with Aubrey, they're speaking on this new person. Uh, they f I'm feeling that they like them, and they didn't like anybody from the previous. It's like you've been dealing with very dishonest people.
Hmm,
So this is more so of them acknowledging this person, right? That they feel like it's good for you. Um, I felt a car and then peels. So do you know if he went through anything with the car and was he on any medication?
well, in his older age, he was on a lot of medication. Yes. Mhm.
And then with the car, was there anything was there an incident? Can you remember? Because you were a kid.
I mean, he had an older car sitting in the driveway. I don't know if there was an incident in particular.
Okay, okay. Is there anyone you can get clarity from?
Um, Perhaps.
I'm
It's
hearing my mom. Is your mom still around?
Mhm.
Can you get clarity from her?
On the card?
Yeah, the car incident.
I could check with her, yeah. Not at this
Okay.
moment, but yes, at some
No,
point.
no, no, I get what you I
Yeah,
get
yeah,
what
yeah.
you're saying. I get what you're saying. Where's the tombstone? What happened with his tombstone?
Um, it, was cleaned at some point. Cleaned, that's all I can think about. I don't think there's any I don't think there was a problem with it.
But you never go see him?
It's been a number of years. Been quite a few years, yeah.
Okay, because he's bringing up his tombstone. Was there a pool? What's the pool?
Hmm. I don't know anything about a pool. There was no pool. He had no pool.
Do you know what the pool is in reference to you?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay. Mm. So, when it comes to you being very young, I want you to see if you can ask your mom of moments, things that you might not have known
Mhm.
when he was living, right? So, that is another thing. If it's not someone that you had a normal life with or someone where it was you probably wouldn't remember half of the stuff he's gonna tell me. Sorry. Sorry, I'm seeing a backyard with plants or grass. Smell it. Do you know what the backyard is?
I mean, he had a backyard. Yes.
Okay. So I see him now showing me the backyard, and it's almost like I could smell it. So it felt like it was a little bit of a peace space for him.
Tell me more.
I'm seeing old cars. Now he's going into the old cars. Did he have a car fetish?
Not that I know of. He just had a really old car,
Okay, okay.
but he was obsessed with his yard.
Okay, okay, okay. And the old car, was it a nice car?
No.
It was just an old car
Mhm. Mhm.
that he was obsessed with? Would he not let it go?
I don't know. I mean, I could see if you're older, you don't wanna let go of your car because you don't wanna give up driving.
Which could be the pills and the car issue. Might not want it to stop. You had a brother? Have a
Do
brother? Do you
do
have a brother?
I have a brother that passed away just a couple days after birth.
Okay, uh, the next thing that I'm hearing is an apology to your mom. He feel th this is why I didn't okay, hold on, I'm sorry. He feels that he coulda did a little better. Very, very closed off spirit, very, um, introverted in a sense, emotionally shut down in a sense. Um, so I do feel that there's an apology to your mom, that he felt like he coulda did better.
Mhm.
Um, do you remember him being a little I don't wanna use this word, I'm gonna use this word. Do you remember him being a little, um, negative verbally?
He was extremely negative verbally.
Okay. You see my face as I'm actually trying to hold off because I could say some really bad things and I don't want to on this. But I feel a lot of negativity, right? Um, I feel like he criticized a lot. I feel like he was very judgmental. Now, as a medium, this is not comfortable for me in the space that I'm supposed to be in, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I don't feel a lot of good things here emotionally.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And it's like he's saying you're stubborn, right? And you don't listen, but it's kinda like a little genetic here that this is the stuff that it got you to where you are, right? You just go. You go and you don't care what anybody says. You're gonna do it. You're the better version DNA-wise.
Hmm.
With him, it just felt like he was very much so stuck in his ways.
Mhm.
There
Mhm.
is an apology there for that, but the energy still very much so stands.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Um, hmm, So just to give like for me, the spirits that I connect with, I feel it 1000%. And it alters my moods, my energy, because I'm embodying that. So when I connect with this, immediately I feel a stubborn spirit. Even with smelling the yard, it's like he doesn't want to be bothered. You understand? Like that was his space of being at peace, but he didn't realize that a lot of his not at peace was his judgment, his negativity, his own issues within himself.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, yeah. You wanna comment?
Does he have any message for me today?
It was an apology to your mom. It was an apology to your mom for not being there for her in the way that she needed emotionally. What's the husband that's like him? Did she attract somebody like him? Ooh, this is deep. This is fun. I'm just
Perha
gonna take my face off and
Perhaps.
we're gonna do this.
Perhaps. Perhaps.
Ah, ah. That's what the apology is because it's like him seeing her, and I want you to know this is over time, going through some of these emotionally abusive experiences and realizing that she attract what she was around.
Mhm.
Ooh. So there's the apology, to your mom. But other than that, I feel the backyard, I smell the grass, I smell trees or herbs. It just feels like he's sitting there.
Mhm.
Even when it come to the car, I felt like he was angry that he couldn't drive, but the medication didn't allow him to drive.
Mm.
But it still made him angry.
Mhm.
He's saying they told him to change his food, but he didn't wanna eat the way he was supposed to. So, I just feel a very stubborn
He
I
had
feel a
he
very
had a
stubborn man.
he had a bad case of, colitis, which impacts your digestive system.
Mhm.
That was really challenging for him, yeah.
And he didn't want to eat the way he was told to eat.
Yeah, yeah.
So, mhm. Now he's showing me TV. So did he watch a lot of shows? Because now I'm seeing TV, living room, and a show, but I see him actually smiling and laughing.
Mm.
Do you remember those moments?
Mm, I don't a lot. I mean, there was a kind of like a dining room table with a TV on it, like a black and white little small 13-inch, TV on that dining room table. And I remember, us sitting there, perhaps, watching some TV or the news or something like that.
Okay. I feel like between the yard and the TV, that was the only thing, especially getting older, that he processed in a healthy way.
Mhm. Mhm.
Not that he didn't love you guys, because he's telling me that he's saying that everybody always told him what to do.
Mm.
So, if someone comes over, they're around, and you need to do this or you got to do this, and he did not like that.
Mhm.
He did not like people telling him what to do. So I'm saying not that he didn't love you because he's saying they always tried to tell me what to do.
Mhm.
Hmm. I'm gonna leave you with this. Maybe your mom could tell because this is a life way before you were alive, right? So the pool thing, he's showing a moment where he almost drowned.
Mm.
So see if you can get that information from your mom since you were so young. I
Mhm.
feel like it altered his experience with water or something when it comes
Wow.
to swimming. So,
Mhm.
he's telling me the pool, that was a trauma moment for him in his
Ah, okay.
spirit.
For him. Okay.
Do you remember him telling you to stop leaving the door open?
Mm. I don't have a specific memory of that, but that definitely could have happened, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's saying now to stop leaving the door. He feels like you didn't listen a lot as a kid, but just being a kid, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure, sure.
put the food up or close the door or it's things like that, but
Yeah.
you feel like you didn't listen to him a lot as a kid.
Alright, alright. Drew, oh my goodness, thank you so much. What a fascinating experience. Yeah,
Well,
and
of course, but
so well, I'm even, he was the one that came to my mind, and I'm surprised based on his age and experience in Alabama that he would connect with you. So, thank you. What a good experience. Now, on your website, you have a variety of ways that people can work with you. Mediumship sessions, obviously, but you also have rituals
yeah.
where you can help people. What are these different rituals? How would that benefit someone?
So it's in a sense of a long distance Reiki. That's how I can best describe it. So, I do different ones when it comes to, love, which some of us, we're blocked, right? And I can open up portals and energy where you can remove the things inside of you that's blocking you from love. I deal with a lot of generational. That is my number one thing, generational energy that is causing people to repeat the same cycles that they don't see that they're repeating. So usually for me, these rituals on my end are 21 days. I go for 21 days. That person is fasting on their end 21 days. That is me focused on them every day for 21 days, going in and removing the energy. But that is my number one thing, that people love, and they feel like it changes their life. But I can honestly say that I do it because I've done it on myself first.
Mm,
I even do fertility things, with my daughter. When I got pregnant with my daughter, I was actually told I would never have kids.
hmm,
I had cancer at 17,
hmm,
and they removed half of my cervix. And I found out that I think I was about 28, 27, 28, and I found out that my father, um, that he robbed a store. Mind you, I did not come from a good background. He robbed a store and the lady was pregnant and she lost her baby.
hmm,
And at that moment, I knew my ovaries had some energy on it because that lady was probably hurt. She was broken. She was sad. And when I found that out, I ran me a bath, I put salt in there, I got sage, and I cleansed myself, and I asked her to forgive me
hmm,
because I'm not my father.
mhm.
And within a year later, my daughter came up. And
Wow.
I tried in vitro for almost 10 years. I tried everything under the sun, and
No
I could not get
way.
pregnant. I could not get pregnant.
Way.
And it wasn't my husband because my ex-husband, he had kids at the time, so it was me. And after that, it happened, and I do have fertility clients. I do have, I call them my grandbabies, even though I don't have any grandbabies, but they're my grandbabies. But I do a lot of work,
Yeah.
energy work for people. Yeah.
You also have a book called Spirituality for Beginners, Awaken, great name, to your higher self. And you describe it as a love letter to seekers. So tell me about that book. We'll link to it on Amazon, of course.
So that is everything inside of me that guided me to spirituality. It breaks down all the religions. how they connect to the different deities, because that's my thing is deities. It gives you a how-to guide, affirmations on how to disconnect from religion and Christianity if you're stuck, and how to meditate. It kinda gives you a beginning space to where you can start, because a lot of people don't know where to start. And
Mhm.
when I came out, the tarot cards wasn't popular, but now they are.
Mhm.
So people kinda associate tarot with spirituality, and it literally has nothing to do with the other.
Mhm.
So that's my first book. I'm gonna work on The Soul Has No Color. But yeah, that one is just a guide. At the end, it has the affirmations in there. You can go back and read over things. It has some little steps to do if you wanted to burn a white candle. It gives you a little bit of the basics.
Mhm. Let me, if you don't mind, can I see your notepad paper from our session earlier?
Oh, sure. So this is, can you see?
Yeah, yeah, look at that. You're
This
just
is me
pulling out.
writing.
Yep. I heard lots of lines going on. That's helps you
Yeah,
separate the
so
concepts.
yes, and it helps me balance out, the energy as well. Like, it's
Mhm.
one of the things that I used to do when I get nervous or it's too much going on, I would move my pen connecting to the automatic writing, so it balances me out while I'm listening too.
Mhm. All right,
Yeah.
what's the best place for people to follow your work, connect with you, book a session with you?
It is mrsdru.com, just my name. I made it that easy. And I do have a Temple of Divine Deities on Facebook.
Great. mrsdrew.com. We'll link to that as well as all your social media accounts, your book. Drew, it is great to connect with you. I just love your heart, your desire to serve other people, and the way that you're sharing your gifts. So thank you for how you're making a difference in the world. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Thanks for listening to the Awaken Magazine podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and our other conversations, would you mind taking a moment to leave a 5-star review and maybe even a comment on Spotify or Apple Podcasts? That's one of the ways that you can give back to the show and help us reach more people. And of course, feel free to share the episode with a friend. And if you're not already on our email list, we send out an inspiring email every Monday morning full of articles and interviews. Just head on over to awakenedmagazine.com and click subscribe and join for free. Our hope is that all the resources we share will help our world continue awakening to love.